Lewis will be racing Michael Johnson in the 200-meter race. That'll be the final race of the night. You all know Carl Lewis from his many accomplishments. Let's spend a moment with him.
He is starting to gray now, perhaps the only concession Carl Lewis has ever made to time. In 4 weeks, one of the greatest Olympians in history will turn 34. And some wonder if Lewis's best days are only a memory.
A lot of people for many years now, 5 or 6 years, have said Carl's finished every year. That's kind of the ongoing thing.
Some thought that the 2 golds he collected in the 1988 Olympics in Seoul might be Lewis's last hurrah. King Carl was supposed to be dethroned 4 years later in Barcelona. Instead, he brought home 2 more golds. A car accident and illness caused a slump in Carl Lewis terms in recent years. Reports of his demise have resurfaced.
I would not count him out. I would never bet against Carl. He is too much of a competitor.
Especially in big meets. And the biggest meet of them all, the Olympics, is 1 year away in Atlanta. With an astonishing 8 gold medals, Lewis needs only 2 more to match the all-time record for Olympic golds.
There'll be, I guess, obviously a major sense of pride. I feel very good about being able to achieve it and just having the opportunity to be there. And being on that podium, outlasting most people that were around me, whether they were athletes, reporters, friends, people. I've outlasted almost all of them.
Ironically, even 1 gold in Atlanta might well inspire more affection than the 4 he won so majestically as a brash 23-year-old in Los Angeles.
I mean, isn't it easier to root for Charles Barkley in the finals now than it is when he was 23? I mean, people grow to know you. They grow to get to know who you are. They know your personality. They understand your frailties, you know, and I think that people just know who I am more now.
Lewis is now track's elder statesman. At a recent visit to the New York Stock Exchange, Lewis fit in comfortably with corporate America. And sponsors now seem to believe that Lewis walks or runs on water. At 33, Lewis is wiser and quieter than the kid who was thrust upon America in the summer of '84. These days, he spends most of his free time at home in Houston.
I wouldn't say that I'm a different person. I'm just a more mature person and handle situations better like a 33-year-old would as opposed to a 23-year-old.
And Lewis continues to train with vigor. His body is telling him there is still some fuel left in the tank, and his body has never been wrong before.
When I know I don't have it anymore, I'm going to walk away from it. I don't have to be an aging fighter out here taking the last licks, running in the heat. You know, it's not going to be my legacy. My legacy is going to be, hey, he ran the best he could, and then he retired, and he was happy.
Carl Lewis will race against Michael Johnson and others in the men's 200-meter, the last event of the afternoon. We've been joined, Craig Masbach and me, by Mike Powell. You know this man fairly well, Mike.
Very well, sometimes too well. But Carl, you know, sometimes people think that Carl is not going to compete well because he's getting older. But the thing about Carl, he has a lot of experiences. He's been in a lot of different situations. So he has the advantage of knowing what to do when other people haven't been there before. And that's a great advantage for him.
This is a unique look at Carl Lewis, running slowly. We don't usually see this. Mike Powell, I think the thing that I admire most about him is he has natural talent. All great athletes do, but he's a great competitor. People sometimes don't realize that. You've learned that all too well at times, that he can really get up for the big moment. Today seems like a big moment, doesn't it?
Exactly. People have been trying to write him off from earlier in this season, as they've been trying to write him off for the World Championships for this season, as they did in 1992. And today's going to be a big race. The last time he raced against Michael Johnson, I think he beat him back in 1993 in Lausanne. I happened to be there, so I know Carl can definitely rise to the occasion.
Mike, let me give you a pop quiz live on the air.
Okay.
Carl Lewis, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Tough. Olympic champion in the long jump, something that I don't have.
That's candid. We are at the Prefontaine Classic. Carl Lewis will be racing against Michael Johnson later this